Hi everybody, how are you doing? I hope you are doing extremely great. Well, types of sentences sounds or seems that it is very easy, but sometimes it is tricky, especially when we have very long sentences. We find it really difficult to figure out which is a simple sentence and why this is a compound sentence and why this is a complex sentence. And why this is called a compound complex sentence. Well, in this video, I'm going to explain it step by step and make it very simple for you so you can know the type of sentence very easy following some rules. So let's get started. So a simple sentence is has one independence clause. It has only one independence clause. It expresses a complete thought. You understand the meaning, you're not waiting for extra information. That's it. And contains a subject and a verb. It's very necessary that a simple sentence contain a subject and a verb. For example, she likes cooking. She likes cooking. Full meaning starts with a capital letter, finish with or ended with a full stop. We have a complete thought. This is a simple sentence, all right? Now let's move to the second example. The children are playing outside. The same thing here. We have one idea, one independence clause, the subject and the verb. It's everything is all right. So this is a simple sentence and it is really evident and very clear. All right, it's very important that a simple sentence starts with a capital letter and ends with a full stop, one idea, one independent clause. This is a simple sentence. Don't wait for or don't expect always a simple sentence to be short like this. Maybe we can have a very long simple sentence, but we still have one verb in a tense and one subject. We can add extra details, extra things, but we have one verb in a tense plus one subject. All right, now let's move to the second type of sentence. Compound sentence. A compound sentence has two or more independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction. So we have two complete sentences. We understand the meaning. We have complete thoughts. All right. So two sentences. We join them using a coordinating conjunction. We have those are the only coordinating conjunction that we have, that we can use to join, to connect two independent clauses. All right, so we have for and nor, but, or, yet, and so. We can also join two independent clauses using only a semicolon. Two complete ideas joined by a semicolon is a compound sentence too. So let's see these examples to understand more. I wanted to go for a walk. This is a complete sentence. Subject, verb, all right? A complete meaning. Comma. Always remember that we have a comma before the coordinating conjunction. We don't put a comma after the coordinating conjunction. It is always before it. And we have another independent clause, which is it started raining. Complete thoughts, we understand, we are not expecting something else, extra details. No, we have a complete idea. All right, so those two independent clauses are joined by a coordinating conjunction, but before the coordinating conjunction, we always need a comma. Don't forget this. So we start with a capital letter, we finish with a full stop. This is a compound sentence. Let's see another example. He cooked dinner. Complete thought starts with a capital letter and he washed the dishes. We have a comma before these two independent clauses. These two independent clauses uh, are joined by a coordinating conjunction. This sentence starts with a capital letter, finished with or ended with a full stop. So this is a compound sentence. Now let's move to a complex sentence. A complex sentence has one independent clause and at least one dependent clause. So we can have more than one dependent clause, but we have only one independent clause, one sentence or a clause that can stand alone, and one or more sentences that cannot stand alone, subordinating clause. All right, we have a dependent clause begins with a subordinating conjunction. We cannot start an independence clause with a coordinating conjunction, no at all. So we have always the subordinating conjunction that starts with um, always the dependence clause starts with the subordinating conjunction. We have many, but I'll give only some examples: because, although, when, if, since, etc. Let's see an example to understand more. I stayed home. This is a complete thought. We understand the meaning. I stayed home can stand alone. So this is independent clause. Because I was feeling sick. Because I was feeling sick is dependent clause. First, because it started with a subordinating conjunction, because. Second, because it cannot stand alone. We cannot just come and say, because I was feeling sick. What else? We are expecting extra information to understand the meaning. So here we cannot say it cannot stand alone. That's why it is a dependent clause. All right. Now when we join this independent clause with the dependent clause using a subordinating conjunction, we form a complete sentence. Always a complete sentence, all as the others, starts with the capital letter and the end with a full stop. Now let's see another example. Before moving to the other example, we have the coordinating conjunction in the middle. When we put the coordinating conjunction in the middle, we have not to put a comma, because the comma is inside the coordinating conjunction. We cannot have them both at the same time, all right? So the meaning of the comma or the use of the comma is inside the coordinating conjunction. That's why there is no need to use the comma when we have the subordinating conjunction in the middle. But when we start with the coordinating conjunction, for example, when the movie ended, when is a subordinating conjunction. I'm sorry. When we start with the subordinating conjunction, we need always a comma. For example, let's say when the movie ended, everyone clapped. When the movie ended is a dependent clause, because we need extra information to understand. It's not a complete thought. All right. When somebody comes and say to you, when the movie ended, what else? I'm expecting something else. All right. That's why we need to add extra information, and everyone clapped is an independent clause that can stand alone. So we have independent clause plus dependent clause joining. We join them by subordinating conjunction. We need a comma here because we started with the subordinating conjunction. Now let's move to the complete sentence. A compound complex sentence combines features of both compound and complex sentences. All right. So when we hear the word compound complex sentence, automatically we think about compound sentence as two independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction, and a complex sentence we think about an independent clause and at least one dependent clause joined by a subordinating conjunction. This is what we are expecting. So when we put them all together, so we expect a mixture of all of this. So we have at least two independent clauses, because two independent clauses means a compound sentence, and at least one dependent clause. We can have more, but at least we need one. All right, let's see these examples to understand more. Although I was tired. This is a dependent clause. We start with the subordinating conjunction, although, right? Although I was tired, we started with the subordinating conjunction. We need a comma, okay? Although I was tired, I finished my homework. I finished my homework is independent clause. It can stand alone. So when we put these together, although I was tired, I finished my homework this is a complete sentence, because we have independent clause and dependent clause joined together with a subordinating conjunction. But the sentence is not has not finished yet. All right, we have another independent clause. I watched a movie, and I watched a movie. So I watched a movie is independent clause, and we join it with the independent clause. I finished my homework using a coordinating conjunction and comma, of course, before the coordinating conjunction. So here we have a compound sentence. Compound sentence plus a complex sentence form together a compound complex sentence. All right, now let's move to the other sentence. She didn't come to the party. This is independent clause. It can stand alone. Because she was sick. Because she was sick is a dependent clause. We can also just say it like this. Because she was sick. What? Add extra information to make me understand your message. All right, to make your message understood. So we have here independent clause plus dependent clause. We don't have a comma because this subordination conjunction is in the middle. All right, so this first part is what? It is a complete sentence, and we have comma, but she sent a message. She sent a message is independent clause, started with the coordinating conjunction, and we have always a comma before the coordinating conjunction. So here we have a compound complete sentence. Compound sentence because we have two independent clauses, and complete sentences because we have at least one dependent clause, which is in this example because she was sick. All right, now let's see these examples. Try to pause the video and work on these examples, and finally I'll give you the answers. All right, this is uh, when you have to practice and to see if you are really if you really understood the lesson or not. Try to pause the video and work on these exercises. And here is